Welcome to Monday here during Nurses Week at Remar Review. We are launching off part 2 of our TEAS in it's just our TEAS review. This is our TEAS review, and we are doing English and we're doing reading today. So if you have your workbooks out, we are continuing on the journey. I was obviously preparing for this portion earlier, but this is all part of us supporting during Nurses Week, nurses at every stage. So if you've been rocking with us since Friday, then you know not only do we have part 2 of the TEAS review, but tonight at 8 p.m., I will be doing a special edition of Monday Motivation. Good morning, good afternoon. And then we have our game night tomorrow at 8 p.m. Check the schedule. All right, Winning Wednesday is also popping off. And then we have our Nurse Success Summit with Grand Canyon University. So we're going to end it with representing and loving on our international nurses. And so that will take place on Thursday. So Remar Review is really busy for Nurses Week supporting you guys. Bonjour, bienvenido. We have nurses from all over, and I love it. I love our community. So again, we're doing reading. If you are studying reading and you're preparing for TEAS, this is the place for you. If you're already a nurse and you just want to help support these new nurses, then this is for you because we are about getting into it. And so we're going to start right away with our reading section, and we are going to be getting into paragraphs. Oh, but listen, right before this, remember, right now, for the NCLEX virtual trainer, our quick facts for TEAS, all of our products, First Shift, they are all 20% off right now. And you can go to remarnurse.com. And actually today we're doing a flash sale. So if you use the promo code REMARNURSE for the virtual trainer, woohoo, you're gonna get a deep discount. All right, so we're doing a flash sale today. So hurry if you are going to get the VT. All right, but we're gonna get into the reading section, and we're gonna start with paragraphs, okay? And so paragraphs are something that you have to know for the this exam. And paragraphs essentially express a main idea. Okay, so we're filling in our workbooks. We're going to do paragraphs. We're going to do English today, and then we're going to get into it more. A paragraph is 3 to 7 sentences related to one main idea. Okay, related to one main idea. And a paragraph should have these 3 things. Are you guys familiar with this? A topic. Number 1 is a topic. And a topic is simply the subject. And you have to be careful because for the TEAS exam, the topic and the main idea are not the same thing. Hey, do me a favor, take a second and share this video to your nursing community. There are people who don't know about Remar, but they want to be nurses. They want to be like you. They want to be like you. And so connect them to the way that they can prepare to get into nursing school. Nursing school is super competitive. And so if you have to take the TEAS, you need to know the difference between a topic, a main idea, which is the specific message or purpose of the writing. And then you also need to know the supporting sentences. This is 3, the supporting sentences, which help explain what's going on. You have to be able to identify all 3 of those things, okay, and know the difference. So as well, in paragraphs will sometimes have a conclusion or a summary, a conclusion or a summary. Okay, and understand that these are not the same thing. These are not the same thing. So we're going to talk about the definition between the 2 of them. And remember, if you're taking notes, my expectation is that you may not remember this stuff. Okay, this is the stuff we learned in what? The 4th grade. So you're not going to remember it as well. But if you're taking your notes, you can always come back to this, right? And if you have your quick facts for TEAS, all this information is also in your quick facts for TEAS. So I'm just helping you to focus your mind on the main points. But again, if you have your workbook or you have quick facts for TEAS, or if you're going to get quick facts for TEAS for somebody else, you could let them know it's all in here. Okay, this is where I'm taking my notes from for today. So the conclusion, we're going to look at the conclusion first. Okay, the conclusion is the end, right? We typically see that, the end of a story, the end of a movie, the end of a book, and it's the judgment or opinion that is formed after the explanation is presented. And the conclusion is related to what? The conclusion is going to be related to the paragraph. It is not going to be a different topic or a different subject. Okay, it's going to be related to that. And you may have keywords to let you know the conclusion, such as therefore or in conclusion. Okay. So sometimes for TEAS, you have to identify the conclusional statement. Whereas a summary, the summary is a brief report. It is a brief report covering the main points. So this is not ending. This is an overview. This could also reinstate that main idea that we talked about, the main idea that was expressed in the topic. Okay. All right. Good morning, Remar nurses. This is our TEAS review. This is our TEAS review. We did the math, we did the science. And so now we are getting into our reading. All right. So we did that paragraphs. I wanted to transition into procedural words. Do you remember what your procedural words are? If I asked you to give me 3 procedural words, if I asked you to give me 1 procedural word, would you remember what it was? Could you give me 1 procedural word? I challenge somebody to give me 1. Okay. All right. So in nursing, particularly, we use procedural words all the time. Essentially, these are, you see procedural words in documents that lay out steps to follow something. So when you get an order for a wound dressing, okay, when you get an order for mixing liquid or solid solutions, or setting up tube feedings, you will see procedural words that have signals in them. So signal words are words or phrases that tell the reader about an organizational pattern between ideas. And so we see that all the time in our nursing orders. All the time, the doctors write nursing orders. Okay. And so you can also, for the TEAS though, they will put your signal words in recipes, assembly directions, and also owner's manuals, vehicle owner's manuals, or computer owner's manuals, and you'll have to identify them. So there are procedural words here in our first column that have to do with time and order. So the signal words or procedural words here that you need to know for your TEAS exam are examples such as first, second, before, which I wrote those ones down for you, before, and then you're going to write down the words after, now, next, and when. And so this is what you have to do when you're reviewing for TEAS. You have to go over this information. Now, as far as the next column that you have there, is for space. Okay. Space. And so our signal words, space, okay, are going to be in front, in back, next. Okay. And then we have near, right, left, and opposite. All right. I love testimonials. I'm going to break in with a testimonial from Miss Nurse Denisha Hosey, she says, I want to share my testimony with my family and Facebook. I graduated nursing school in 2019, okay, a couple years ago. I got sidetracked with life and being a mom and working that I lost hope in my career. A lot of people didn't know I took my NCLEX 2 times. Whew. Then today was my 3rd attempt. I was ready to give it up, but praise God, I am officially an LVN. Somebody say congratulations. Somebody says congrats. All the stress has officially came off my shoulders, walking into a new chapter of life. Hashtag never give up. The sky's the limit. Hashtag Remar. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming in. Congratulations. Congratulations. You are our hope on today. You are our hope on today because you didn't give up. You didn't give up. And so if you're studying for TEAS or NCLEX, you cannot give up on your dream. All right. Getting back into our review. Wow, that was good. That was a good study break right there. Just give some praises to God for this day. Yes. Okay. So in front, in back, next, near, right, left, and opposite. Hey. And we're celebrating nurses this week. This is what we're doing. Tomorrow, we are actually going to be doing our prize giveaway for our NCLEX game night. So set your alarms to be right here. We will be playing game night with NCLEX questions for prizes, and we'll be doing it Kahoot. So if you have Kahoot on your phones, you can go to the website. I'll give you guys the pen, and we're going to get into it. So set your alarms for tomorrow, May 10th at 8 p.m. All right, let's get into some procedural words. Now, we're going to read the recipe. We're not going to pause the video. We're going to just read this recipe together, and I want you to look for the procedural words. All right, so this is a recipe for yummy cereal bars, and it says here 1/2 cup peanut butter, 1/2 cup sugar, 1/2 cup honey, 3 cups toasted oat cereal, 1/2 cup chocolate chips, optional, 1/2 cup salted peanuts, optional. Sound pretty good. In a bowl, combine toasted oats, peanuts, and chocolate chips. Set aside in a small saucepan. Bring the honey and sugar to a boil over medium heat. As soon as the sugar is dissolved, remove from heat. Stir in the peanut butter until well blended. Pour the peanut butter and honey mixture over the cereal mixture. Stir until well coated. Spread into a buttered 9x9 pan. Let cool and cut into squares. Enjoy. Woo, that's a lot of steps, man. That's a lot of steps. That's why I don't cook. You see how much you got to do? I don't even know. Listen, so the first question that I have about our yummy cereal bars, it's a lot of stuff going on with them cereal bars, is how many ingredients are necessary for this recipe? If you were taking the TEAS exam, and this is a very straightforward question that a lot of people are going to get wrong. I already know it. It says here, how many ingredients are necessary for the recipe, for this recipe? I want to see answers on the screen. It's right in front of your face. It's right in front of your face. What would you say if this was the question that you got? If this was the question that you got, what would you say? And I know I got Facebook, I got YouTube here. We are talking about our TEAS review and preparing for this. And so the correct answer in this, by looking at this recipe, how many ingredients are necessary? That answer is going to be 4. Okay. Necessary for this recipe is the 1/2 cup of peanut butter, the 1/2 cup sugar, the 1/2 cup honey, and 3 cups of toasted oat cereal. That's it. The other 2 are optional. Okay. The other 2 are optional. So the next question is this. Based on the recipe, what will you mix in the bowl? And so we read over the recipe. So if you're filling out your workbooks, and so you got to be very careful because, with TEAS, it's just like NCLEX. Reading is fundamental. So every word that you come across, you want to really stop and make sure that you are intentional about answering the right question. So when we talk about what we're going to be mixing in the bowl, it's the toasted oats, the peanut, and chocolate chip. That's it. Okay. And then out of these options here, which of the following steps is done first? Which of the following steps is done first? Is it cut into squares, remove from heat, stir in peanut butter, spread into a 9x9 pan? Oh, come on. I know the Remar nurses, you guys, I'm not usually asking you questions about reading, but I want you to flex your reading muscles. This is very important to be able to do, okay? This is very important to be able to do. So the correct answer, the steps that are done first from everything that we have in front of us, again, TEAS is simple because they give you the answers. You just got to find them. Is going to be remove from heat. That is the correct answer. Okay, so we're going to get into the homework here. And we're going to just review it together. And the homework here is going to be based off of reading, right? Reading small sentences, paragraphs, and then identifying the main idea. So I always like to definitely start with looking at the questions first. So if you're taking the TEAS exam, look at the questions first before you begin to read this, this paragraph, because it will help you to focus your reading. So we're reading about orcas. Orcas are essentially what? They're whales. So orcas are very popular and distinctive whales. Orcas have black and white markings that make them easy to recognize. They are commonly known as killer whales. They have been featured in many films. Orcas can be trained to perform in water parks across the country. In conclusion, orcas are very well known. Okay, do we know any orcas? There's a killer whales. They're called killer whales, and there's movies about them. I don't know if I know any movies. Was Shamu an orca? Is that my memory? Was that the killer whale? Was that the scary one, Shamu? I don't know. Okay, so anyways, this is our paragraph. We have read it, and now we have to answer a question about it. So the question, based off of what the text said, is identify the main idea for the paragraph. Is it A, orcas have black and white markings that make them easy to recognize? B, in conclusion, orcas are very popular. C, orcas are very popular and distinctive whales. D, they are commonly known as killer whales and they have been featured in many films. What would we say the main idea for our paragraph would be? A, B, C, or D? And so this can be tough. This can be definitely tricky. We want to make sure, though, we're not picking the ending. And so I think B would be considered the ending, which is, in conclusion, orcas are very popular, right? But there is a one answer that is better than the other, and that is C, orcas are very popular and distinctive whales. Okay. Orcas are very popular and distinctive whales. Let's move on. Let's read the next question, the next paragraph. This is example 2. Okay. When considering all the animals of the world, the penguin is probably most associated with cold climates. This is a very evident fact, as penguins do live in very cold climates, including the Antarctic. Some penguins can live near the equator where it is warmer, such as the Galapagos penguin. Okay, so the question says, identify a possible conclusion statement. What would be appropriate conclusion statement? A, in conclusion, penguins are very popular animals. B, in conclusion, penguins use their wings differently. C, in conclusion, penguins are known for cold climates. Or D, in conclusion, penguins are fun to watch in their environment. All right, and so with reading, we have to be able to identify conclusions, main ideas, and topics. And I think you guys got it right. Good job. The correct answer here is, in conclusion, penguins are most known for cold climates. Hey, we have a select all that apply question here. It says, identify the signal words. Select all that apply. Now, we talked about signal words earlier. So now, which one of these are considered signal words? And there's more than one right answer. So is it A, beside, B, because, C, around, or D, next? Okay. And you could pick more than one. Okay. And again, this is all part of our quick facts for TEAS. We are spotlighting this resource. This review is brought to you by it. With the TEAS, you know, you got to go over English, reading, science, and math. And so it's best to not go into this exam blind. You need to have the content. I want to empower you so that you can pick the correct answers. Because if you have not studied signal words, you will not be able to identify that there are many here. There are many signal words here. This is a select all apply. So A, beside is a signal word. B is not a signal word. Okay. This because is a conjunction. Some people say it's a preposition. So that's not going to be correct. Around is a signal word. And then also next is a signal word. So there is more than one answer here, and you have to be able to choose them all correctly. There's no partial credit for your TEAS exam. Okay, we're still talking about reading. There are communication styles that you need to be familiar with for this TEAS exam. And so the 3 forms of communications that you need to know for TEAS. Listen, I'm telling you, I'm taking the guesswork and confusion out of this exam. I'm only telling you exactly what you need to know. So you need to know about the memorandum. You need to know about the printed public announcement. And you also need to know about the classified advertisement. Okay, so we're going to look at each one of them, and I'm going to give you what you need to know about them. So the first is the memo, the memorandum. Where do you find this? TEAS wants to know, where do you find these things? Why do you find them? And how do you identify if they are used correctly or incorrectly? So the memorandum is an informal note, usually for business purposes. Okay, so you usually find this within a business setting. All of the grammar should be correct here. And this is important for TEAS because sometimes they will allow for slang, okay? Sometimes they will allow for, common language to be included in some forms of writing, okay? But the memorandum is not that place, okay? The second one, the printed public announcement. This is an announcement to notify or inform the public of an event or a service that is happening. For example, if you're having a yard sale, right? That's a public announcement. If you lose a dog, how many of those so sad notices do we see, like missing dog, looking for this dog? Oh my goodness. Those just break my heart. And then also, if there's any voting going on, that is a public announcement. Hey, you can come and vote. It's time to vote. That would be an example of that for the TEAS exam. The classified advertisement or advertisement is a form of advertising that uses very small, concise messages to buy, sell, or offer something. So think about, if you don't read the newspaper, kind of think about Craigslist. Sometimes they have advertisements there. Okay. Yes, go ahead and tag your nursing buddies that want to get into nursing school. They got to take this TEAS exam. We are studying TEAS, and we're doing practice. We're doing practice with it too. Okay. We are doing practice with it too. So we're going to get into some practicing as well. But I need to tell you guys that this is all happening because we are loving on our nurses for Nurses Week. So not only are we doing something today, but we did something yesterday, and we're doing something tonight at 8 o'clock on Monday, May 9th, which is today. I'm doing Monday Motivation back to NCLEX. I'm taking it back to NCLEX, and I'm staying in NCLEX. And so we have the game night tomorrow. This is the entire schedule. If you don't have the schedule, but you want it and you want the workbook, because we still have a very big NCLEX review coming up with our International Nurses Day, you need to sign up for it. Go to Remar Nurse right now. Go to remarnurse.com/Nurses Week, and you will get this workbook. I keep talking about a workbook, but this is the workbook that I'll be using for the rest of the week. So for our International Nurses Day, we're going to be going over diabetes. I have a lot of topics I'll be covering on Thursday. And then I also have the Nurse Success Summit with Grand Canyon University. I'm going to be talking about actually being a nurse, how to take report, how to communicate with patients. And so there's a workbook. There's one workbook for all of these things. So you want to be filling them out all week. I'm encouraging you guys to sign up for it, so you can at least watch the replay, all right, and have the workbook for the replay. So go to remarnurse.com/Nurses Week, okay, /Nurses Week. And then just reminder where we are. This is Monday. So tomorrow we're doing the game night at 8 p.m. Set your alarms for that. We're giving away cash prizes for the first, second, and third place winner of our game night. Answering NCLEX questions for dollars. That's easy. All right, so this is an example of a classified ad. Remember, you're using short, small sentences, not even sentences really, to offer or sell something. Okay, let's get into the reading session 2. Session 2, we are going to be talking about analyzing text and graphical representations. For TEAS exam, the best way to analyze a text is they want you to question it. They want you to question it. So the 5 questions for gathering data, do you remember these questions? I remember learning these questions in the second grade. In the second grade, that's how far TEAS take you back. My goodness. Our questions are who, what, when, where, and why. Of course. Who, what, when, where, and why. Absolutely. Okay. Now we're going to get into when we're questioning a text, when we're analyzing a text, what can we be analyzing? And so graphical representations of information, those require you to question them a lot because they are not always going to be tons and tons of information, right? Actually, if we're filling out the workbook, charts and graphs, they simplify information. Okay. They simplify information. And so that is going to be essential to some people. But for the TEAS, you still got to know, okay, what are the advantages and disadvantages of this particular graphic? You got to know that. So don't worry, have no fear. I'm going to tell you. If we're going to look at number 1 is bar graphs. Okay. And then I got a good question here. I just see it. Please, TEAS, abbreviation in full is. What does the TEAS exam stands for? It stands for the test of essential academic skills. The test of essential academic skills. So a lot of nursing schools want you to take this test to even be confident that you will be successful in your first nursing class. Okay. So that is why they're going to test you on your math, your science, your English, and your reading. And I'll tell you, the TEAS exam is challenging for most adults because even though we're using English every day, do we know the difference between a preposition and a conjunction? Because those are the kind of questions they're going to ask, right? Do we know our singular and plural verbs and adjectives and things like that? And so sometimes it's tough. And doing a review for TEAS is always a great idea. It's always a great idea. All right. So that is why I am here to help you guys. So we're talking about bar graphs first, and bar graphs can be horizontal or they can be vertical. Horizontal or vertical. And we see that. We see a horizontal one and we see a vertical one. But you got to know, like I said, the advantages and disadvantages. So the advantages of the bar graph is that the bar graph can represent more than one type of data. Okay, that's an advantage. The bar graphs can represent more than one type of data. So that just simply means that if you have a bar graph, typically when I'm helping my daughter in homeschool, her bar graphs will have, these are the favorite types of kids' foods. And they'll have a bar graph, and then one bar will be pizza, and the other bar will be spaghetti, and then another bar will be hamburgers. And so the bar graphs are very great for that, right? Okay, so you can see, you can put here their sports, soccer, softball, basketball. Okay, so very good for that. The disadvantages of the bar graph is that they really require more explanation. Okay, you definitely, if you're looking at a bar graph, you will have to be able to fill in the blanks for your reader or for your learner, because the bar graph can only represent so much at one time. So the time may be missing, or the reason may be missing. All right, so write that down. The next graphic we want to look at is the pie chart. Okay, and the pie chart is essentially, our workbook says the pie graphs are divided. They are 2D or 3D circles with information divided into slices. And so the slices represent a certain percentage of the whole. Okay. Okay. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages of the pie chart? Well, pie charts are usually easy to understand. Okay. They are easy to understand. But the disadvantage of them is that only one set of data can be presented by the pie. So you can't have a pie graph of different sports in that way. Usually only one type of data is going to be represented. Okay. It's not going to be the best for that presentation. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Flow charts. Love using flow charts. I'm using them a lot right now for information, especially with like basically concept maps that I'm doing. So with flow charts, what you have here is they are going to be best for describing processes or sequencing of events. Processing or sequence of events. All right. Now the advantages or disadvantages. So the advantages are going to be the top down and the left to right presentation are going to be easy to follow. The top down or the left or right presentation are going to be easy to follow. The disadvantages are sometimes the symbols may be confusing, or it could be difficult for the information to change. All right. Maps are super common. I am actually on If you have the workbook, if you just downloaded it, because when you sign up for Nurses Week here at Remar, you get that workbook right away. And so I'm on page 47 now. We're talking about maps. So it literally is this map. All right. Okay. So maps show where someone is or where to go. Maps use symbols. And so the features on the map, and you have to know this, you definitely have to know this to be able to match the definition to the actual term. The legend defines what the symbol means. It's also called the key. The scale is the distance between two places in real life. The compass shows which way is north. Okay, that's the significance of these three. The compass shows which way is north. All right, now, the advantages of a map is that it can show, and we're going to read a map here in 1 second. The map can show very large or very small areas, of course, and then remote traveling. So before we had GPS, is there anybody that still uses a map? Anybody? Is there anybody that when it's time to go to New York or Florida or Atlanta, you like to have the map? You like to print it out and have the map, or you just like, let me turn on my GPS in the car or my cell phone, and just pull up maps? Are you a map person or are you a GPS person? Because for me, I'm like an everyday GPS person. Like, I need it around the city. Okay. So those are the advantages. The disadvantages is that, of course, maps are not to scale. So they distort the shape, they distort the size, and possibly the direction. And if you don't have that legend or you can't understand the legend, okay, then you have to figure it out. It's tough to figure it out, right? If you don't have that legend. So we're talking about, do you use maps or do you use GPS? And Patricia says, it's fun to use maps for a family road trip, to just get lost and find your way back. Yeah. You know what? I want to be like that one day. I want to be like, you know what? It's okay if we just get lost. We're going to find our way back, Mark. I know, but my kids are very young. And so usually if it's in the car, I'm literally waiting for the time until they have a meltdown for being in the car so long. We drove to Florida. It was like a 14-hour drive from Ohio. Oh, goodness. So those are the advantages and disadvantages of using a map. All right. The next one that we have to know for TEAS is the graphic illustrations. It's the illustrations where there's pictorial references. Now for your nursing school classes, your nursing information, this is what you will see, especially if you are taking anatomy. You guys know that the pictorial representation is a method of presenting. It's a method of presenting information in a visual form. The illustration should contain a title, label, and the images. Those are the three that it should have. The title of it, what is it? The labels, and then the image. Got to have those three. The advantages is that illustrations definitely attract attention more. They help you in memory, which is why nursing schools use them a lot. And you can do many varieties. So the one in your book, your workbook, is of a human eye. Okay. The disadvantage is that further explanation is needed for maybe how the illustration is to be viewed. What is the purpose? What is the significance to the reader? Definitely will have to explain that. All right. Okay. We're going to we are going to do our, actually, I'm looking for it. Oh, here it is. We're going to do our reading strategy. I just wanted to share this because it is going to be so helpful for the reading section. Okay. the 211F reading strategy. If you honestly don't remember anything else, please, when it comes to the reading section, remember this, write it down. This is what it is, and it's very important. So the 211F reading strategy helps you read through large sections of information quickly. All right. And so what you do is you read the first two sentences of the passage. Have you guys heard of this? All right. 1, you read the last sentence of the first paragraph. The last sentence of the first paragraph. Okay. Then you read the first sentence of each paragraph after that. And then you read the final sentence of the story. And this is just a pre-reading strategy to help you get familiar with what's going on. Because if you get familiar with what's going on, when you read it again, you'll be able to fill in the blanks. Okay. All right. And so I do this a lot. And it helps me so much. So check that out. Also, read the questions, but not the answer choices. That helps you. Just read the questions and go back and read the entire passage, and you will see what stands out. All right, let's do some homework questions and just go over these graphic representations. So the first one is this: looking at this written form of communication, would you say this is A, a memorandum, B, a classified ad, C, scale reading, or D, a public announcement? What would you say this written communication form is? Don't be shy. Come on. Is this considered a memorandum? Remember what we studied about a memorandum? Okay. Or is this going to be a classified ad, a scale reading, or a public announcement? Come on in and answer the question. Okay. The correct answer for this is D. All right. It's a public announcement. Great job, everybody. Great job. Okay. The next question is, which of the following should be included between the topic sentence and the summary? Should it be the inference, the signal words, supporting details, or implications? All right, this is for our pre-nursing students trying to get into TEAS, the studying, trying to get the best possible grade, trying to get an 80%, a 90%. Wow. Okay. The correct answer here is going to be supporting details. Supporting details should be between the topic sentence and the summary. All right. Okay. Inference is just a guess, right? B, signal words. We talked about those indicate relationships. And implications are things that the author does not directly state, but readers have to assume. Okay. All right. Cool. Final question. What does it mean? What does it mean to put a text into your own words? Is it A, assumption, B, interference, C, evaluation, or D, paraphrase? Okay. A, assumption, B, interference, C, evaluation, or D, paraphrase. Welcome. We are getting it in with our reading portion of the TEAS, and I am quizzing you guys on some reading words. The correct answer here is absolutely paraphrase. Okay, look at this map. And you have it in your workbook because I have to take it away. Here's the map, though. We're going to be talking about the map. And the question is, what city? Ooh, what? Okay, what city is the Alamo in? Can you see that? Looking at the map, what city is the Alamo in? And this is Texas, which I love to visit Texas. I'm not from here, but I love to visit Texas. It's a beautiful place. I see coyotes when I go there. If you have it in front of you. So the Alamo, it says the city. If you have the document in front of you, the choices are, here's the choices. Austin, B, Texas, C, Houston, or D, San Antonio. Austin, is the Alamo in Austin? Is the Alamo in Texas? C, Houston, D, San Antonio. And if you don't have the workbook, you can download it just by clicking the link. It's a downloadable workbook. You don't have to pay for the workbook for Nurses Week. It's totally free. Just click the link and you'll be able to get it. Okay. The correct answer, the Alamo, based off the map, is in San Antonio. Okay. Next question is this. Which city is near the water? Select all that apply. Which city is in the water? Is it Laredo, Brownsville, Amarillo, Corpus Christi, or Abilene? And we're talking about cities near the water. So the water is basically the Gulf of Mexico. Okay. Or I guess it's down here, the Gulf of Mexico. And the correct answers are going to be, B and D. B and D. Brownsville and Corpus Christi. Okay. Reading a map. All right, that was good. Let's look at this memorandum here. And we're going to just see if we can pull out what is the reason for this memorandum and what's going on. So it says memorandum to supervisors from Jane Scott, Human Resources, and the date is July 14, 2022. Subject, probation periods. As of August 1st, all new hires will be subject to a 90 days probationary period. Medical, holiday, and flex time benefits will not apply to new staff members until the 90 days have expired. After the probationary period has ended, please contact me and I will construct the necessary paperwork. Thank you for your cooperation. So that's the memorandum. The question is, what is the main purpose of the memorandum above? Is it A, to put staff members on probation? B, to inform all new employees of a new benefits rate? C, to inform all supervisors of an increase in policy? Or D, to inform all supervisors of a change in policy? All right, so I just read that memorandum to you guys. What would you say? What would you say? Okay. Yes, the correct answer for that memorandum is D, to inform all supervisors of a change in policy. Very good. And the next question is this. When will new hires be required to meet the 90 days probationary period? When will they be required? Was it July 14th, August 1st, when they are hired, or upon reading the letter? Okay. We are closing up our session, coming up right in just a few more pages. We will be finished with our reading. Okay. And we're going to be transitioning to English. All right. The correct answer for this one, I apologize for that. The correct answer for this one is going to be, it's not on the slide, but it states as of August 1st. So that will be B. As of August 1st, all new hires will be subject to a 90-day probationary period. So just circle it here on your paper. Okay, let us go on to very, very challenging. For me, the English section of the TEAS exam and maybe the math, it's a doozy. All right, so we're going to get into it. I want to show you two great principles, and I want to help you so you don't have to worry about this subject anymore. All right, English. All right, the first thing we're going to be talking about is this. So, just in general, the English and language usage subtest helps the candidates and to assess the candidate's knowledge of grammar, sentence structure, and punctuation, spelling. You got to know how to spell words correctly, and you have to know how to use contextual words. All right, these are all parts of it. So, for example, the following things are like subject-verb agreement. We're going to talk about that now. Also determining the meaning of words from their context clues. Okay, and then identifying various parts of speech, such as possessives, such as pronouns, such as verbs, adverbs, and adjectives. All right, so these are all what you are going to be expecting. There's also things like using verb tenses accurately, determining the correct spelling, especially when it comes to plurals like crazy and crazies. You gotta know how to spell them. Monkey, monkeys, so those are going to be also important. Compound words, hyphenated words, frequently misspelled words as well. So we're going to get into the subject-verb agreement. So subject-verb agreement is essentially this, and write this down. The subjects and verbs must agree with each other in number. That's the main thing, in number. And so in other words, if the subject is singular, the verb should also be singular. Okay, and that's simple. It sounds simple, it makes sense, but what does it look like? So I have the example, the subjects and verb must agree with one another in number. So the example is she is talented. Okay, she by herself is, that's a singular verb, talented. All right. She is talented. Let's try this. Let me see if you guys can do these examples on the paper. We're looking for the singular verbs when the subject is single. So when there's one subject, there's a singular verb. When there's multiple subjects, then use a plural verb. So number one, the puppy blank at the park. Is it the puppy play at the park or the puppy plays at the park? What do you guys say? And this may be tricky for some people because it's like, singular verb, it has to be singular. What do you guys say? The puppy play at the park or the puppy plays at the park? What about the second one where it says the puppies? That's a plural. That's a plural subject. The puppies, is it play at the park or is it plays at the park? What say it, you guys? Okay. Yeah, the puppy plays at the park. Okay. The puppy plays at the park. All right. What about this next one? I'm going to show you guys the answer in a second. The dog chase the cat or the dog chases the cat? We need a singular subject and a singular verb. And the number 4 says a plural subject. The dogs blank the cat or the dogs chase the cat or the dog chases the cat. Yeah. The dog chases the cat. All right. Or the dog chased the cat. All right. Here are the answers here. This is subject-verb agreement. I think you guys got it right. I don't see anybody, that got it wrong. The puppy plays at the park. The puppies play at the park. The dog chases the cat. The dogs chase the cat. I don't know. Some of you guys might really like this. Like this might be a fun challenge where you're like, I love doing this. I love doing this. Is there anybody like that out there? Love their English language. So it can be so confusing because sometimes you think, okay, if the subject ends with an S, then the verb should end with an S because it's like a multiple verb. All right. So like you would think the puppies, because it ends with the S, plays at the park because that ends with the S too. But no, it's not like that. All right. It's not like that. So it's actually the opposite. Most singular verbs end in S. Okay. So if a verb ends in S, like plays, it's not for the multiple. It's not for the plural. It is for the singular. So most singular verbs end in the letter S. And that even goes back to our example. Look at this here. She is talented. So is ends in S. It's just for one person. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's go on. Okay, so that's subject-verb agreement. That's touching it, so you understand stand it. Now let's go into context clues. Context clues number 2. These are hints found within a sentence, paragraph, or passage that a reader can use to understand the meaning of a new or unfamiliar words. Okay, new or unfamiliar words. So let's try to do it. Let's try to do it here using our context clues. And some context clues are synonyms, antonyms. We'll see. Okay, so the underlying word is here. It was an idyllic day. The sun was out and it was perfect for a walk in the park. What does idyllic mean? Based on the context clues. And I don't have any options for you guys. I just want you to tell me what the word idyllic can mean. It was an idyllic day. The sun was out and it was perfect for a walk in the park. Okay. What does idyllic mean? Nisha says, great. Nisha says perfect. T-Rob says, great. T-Rob hung out with me for the math and science. Okay. Yeah, I agree. I think here, because we have the word perfect. It was a great day. It was idyllic. It was peaceful. It was an idyllic day. It's something that's ideal. It's a good situation. I like that. It's the best, right? So it was a best. It was a good day. It was a perfect day. The sun was out. It was a happy day. It was a wonderful. It was an excellent day. Yes. So it's a positive statement. It's a positive statement, right? Let's look at another one. Okay. Very, very peaceful, happy, enjoyable. Let's read this one. The feral cat would not let us pet him, unlike our friendly cat. What does feral mean? What kind of cat is this? The feral cat, and I just said today that I loved cats. I told somebody that I love cats, but I don't know if that was the truth because I really love dogs. So do I really love cats? Can you love both? I don't know. I feel like there's always, you got to pick one or the other. Okay. So the feral cat would not let us pet him, unlike our friendly cat. So what does feral mean? A feral cat. That thing is wild. That thing is aggressive. He mean. Nice. All right. Using the context clues, this thing is wilder. I like this one. A bad cat. A bad cat won't let us pet him. All right. Feral cat. You see a feral cat? A feral cat is unowned, is an unowned domestic cat that lives outdoors. Well, I don't think you can call them domestic. Can they be domestic, living outside? I don't know. And they avoid human contact. It does not allow itself to be handled or touched. I think you guys usually got this one. And it usually remains hidden from humans. They on their own in the wild. Don't bring them in your house either. No, I heard people try to do that. They tear up your house. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right. Okay, so let's go over the homework section. This won't be long. You guys have been doing really great rocking this out, the homework. So this is going to go to subject-verb agreement. Here we go. Fast answers. Let's get through this. Let's finish out strong here. English homework. The horses in the barn, is it going to be neigh? Number one, neigh very loudly, or two, neighs very loudly? The horses in the barn, neigh very loudly or neighs very loudly? And yes, as I see the answers rolling in, subject-verb agreement, it is going to be neigh. Okay, this is the plural paired with the plural. Next question is this. The soccer players and the mascot, number one, volunteer at the school or volunteers at the school? Volunteer or volunteer? So again, this comes for quick facts for HESI, for TEAS. You can get this right now, 20% off by going to remarnurse.com. Use the promo code remarnurse because that's what you are. Okay. And we're rewarding you for Nurses Week. The soccer player and the mascot volunteer. People are saying it's number one. That's right. I don't think anybody put number two. Okay, let's do this one. Again, this is where we are trying to use our context clues. The crime he committed was gregarious. It was gregarious. He'll never recover from this horrendous scandal. What does the word gregarious mean? Is it one, widespread, two, very bad, three, complicated, or four, very pricey? What does gregarious mean? I'm going to start using that term. I like that. It was gregarious. I want somebody to give me a testimonial and they tell me, I took the TEAS exam and it was gregarious. I took NCLEX. It was gregarious. I made dinner last night and it was gregarious. All right. Okay. The correct answer is going to be, very bad. Oh my goodness. Very bad. Okay. He'll never recover. It was a horrendous scandal. Horrendous. That was a word that gave me the context clue there. All right, let's move on. Next word is this. Walter is gregarious, unlike his brother, who is shy and quiet. Choose the word or phrase that best describes this underlined term. Walter is gregarious, unlike his brother, who is quiet and shy. Is he, number one, loves company, two, loud, three, reserved, four, a great speaker? I see the answers rolling in. Hey, it's a choice between, looks like it's a choice between 2 and 1 and 2 and 1. All right. The correct answer is going to be here. Gregarious is a person who is outgoing. They love company in a positive way. They love being around other people. So it's going to be number 1. What about question number 5 is this. Choose the word or phrase that best defines the underlying word in a sentence. All right. This painting of the garden is picturesque, while the one of the old building is just plain ugly. Picturesque. Is it 1, graphic, 2, dull, 3, beautiful, or 4, easily decorated? What do you say? This painting of the garden is picturesque, while the one of the old building is just plain ugly. That's all to it. That's all to it. It's just ugly, and I don't like it. Okay. The correct answer is, of course, I think you guys got it. Okay. There's a little controversy. The correct answer is 3, beautiful. Picturesque paintings are very pretty, beautiful, and or charming. All right, guys. What a great study session. Literally, this was longer than the math and science, it seems like. We did reading and we did English today. And this is part of our TEAS review coming straight out of Quick Facts for TEAS. But guess what? We have a whole slew of things going on this week for Nurses Week. And it's just going to get better. It's just going to get better. I'm coming back on live tonight at 8 p.m. and we're going to go into our NCLEX questions for our Monday motivation. We'll talk about, what did we go over? Congestive heart failure tonight. There were some other questions. I can't remember them all, but tonight at 8 p.m. it is going down. It is going down. Also head over to our website, remarnurse.com, because we are doing a flash sale on the virtual trainer using the code REMARNURSE. So tonight again, 8 p.m., I will be back on here, Facebook, YouTube. You will see me. Tomorrow, we have our game night for prizes, money prizes for presenting your knowledge to the world. If you got any NCLEX questions or TEAS questions, I am your instructor. Please reach out to me. You can text me. It'll be super simple. 855, write down my number, 855-696-0132. Okay. And also by way of email, always support@remarreview.com. I hope to hear from you. Let me know what's going on, where you're studying. You can send me a text message. It's there for you, right? The hardest step to take is usually the first one. So do whatever you need to do. You can, you will, and you must pass NCLEX and TEAS. And TEAS as well. That is the new territory. Bringing in the new nurses. So I have to hop off, guys, because I'll be coming back on tonight to study with you. So it's Nurses Week, and I am celebrating all of our nurses in the community. It's going to be a great time. Don't miss it, okay? Also, I forgot to mention, we are doing free shipping. How could I forget free shipping? So whatever you purchase on the website too, we are discounting it no matter where you are. I had some nurses from Africa on today, the Philippines, Jamaica, where else? Guyana. It doesn't matter. We're doing free shipping on the virtual trainer. And so you guys know, especially if you're in the other parts of the world, shipping can be $80, $100, $60 extra. And so during Nurses Week, we are covering that cost for you. And I'm just happy to be able to offer that gift. So I will see you guys tonight. How to pass NCLEX Monday motivation is going down at 8 p.m. See you soon, guys. Bye-bye.